Hey guys, Evolutionary here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends. Ho 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 ho! Hi 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 hi! Evolutionary from the Fantastic Four retro wave, and I swear that is all the Talking Heads references that you'll be seeing for the entirety of this Legends wave because, well, quite frankly, I'm out of them. And while they're fun the first couple of times, probably going to start to get annoying if I do them anymore. So with that being said, I'm going to say it right now. I don't know squat about this character, much like Psycho Man. He did actually appear in the Spider-Man Unlimited series from the late 90s. He was associated with Venom and Carnage, I believe. But other than that, I don't know squat about this character. Other than he looks kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. His studded up Mortal Kombat ninja vest thing he's got going on, it's pretty hardcore. But getting into the meat and taters of this figure, his only accessories are some hands. And while I wasn't crazy about Psycho Man's emoji box or emotion box, whatever you want to call it, that's at least a character-specific thing that they're not going to be able to reuse. At least I don't think anyways. We'll see how smart Hasbro is with that. But, yeah, I figured this guy had something unique about him, other than just his looks, like some kind of special ray gun or something. But no, we just get these weird jazz hands. So, that kind of sucks. But at least he came with some alternate hands, unlike Psycho Man. So with that being said, taking a closer look at the High Evolutionary here. He looks cool. He's got kind of a mohawk thing with slits in it, top of his head. Robo from the Fwoosh said it's like a handle, so you could pick him up and carry him around like a suitcase. I wouldn't advise that. You might break that off, but, you know, to each their own. But he does have, again, a kind of Mortal Kombat ninja-looking vest thing going on with some studs. That's pretty cool. And to my understanding, this is like a mad scientist type guy. He's not like an alien or something like that, and he's actually fought Galactus before. So I guess I knew a little bit about him, but I got that from the Fwoosh, I believe. I forget who else might have mentioned it. Maybe Talker Art, but I haven't watched a whole lot of reviews of this wave because, quite frankly, I wasn't sure how deep into this wave I was going to get, but after seeing them all, I would like to get all of them, plus the two variants on Hasbro Pulse, if I'm being quite honest. The Invisible Sue Storm is long overdue, and then a non-flamed out Johnny Storm, again, long overdue. But, the one they got in the store right now is actually one hanging in Walmart close to my house. I would really like to pick up that Human Torch at some point. Because I always liked Human Torch. He's a cool character. But we ain't talking about him. We're talking about High Evolutionary. I guess maybe we started talking about him because I don't know enough about High Evolutionary. But other than he looks kind of cool. And aesthetically, I like him more than Psycho Man. Just more my wheelhouse. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, he has the double ball peg in the head. So you can get all kinds of range out of that. He'll look up a little bit. He'll look up pretty good, actually. He'll look down. He's got the tilt. He's got the rotation. It does pop off quite easily, too. So there you go. Nothing to it. I will say, his little mohawk here does kind of remind me of the Injustice 2 Gorilla Grodd from McFarlane Toys we got earlier in the year. The DC Multiverse figure. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And then his shoulders are super tight out of package, so you may want to heat those up a bit. But they do move out to the side. They do move back down. They move forward and back. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got double joint at the elbow, which is pretty stiff, again, out of package, much like Psycho Man. But I have heated him up a little bit since then, so that's not too big of a deal. He's got a wrist swivel with a hinge. Works just fine. I will say the bicep on the left side on mine was a little bit loose on a package, but I went and heated that up, and I kind of pinched it a bit, and I plopped it back on there, and it seems to be a little better now. It's not kind of pushing on that peg quite as much as it was, so, just quick tips to fix your toys, because hashtag don't break your toys. But it does not have that bobble anymore, which I do prefer it not to have the bobble. But his diaphragm joint, he doesn't get a ton of crunch out of that. I would say Psycho Man takes the cake when it comes to crunch. He doesn't even go that far back. I'd say it's about even. He does rotate. He has a little bit of tilt. His waist swivel is underneath his belt, which is fine, but it is kind of useless down there. So I would have preferred maybe the belt been a separate piece, or an even more separate piece than it is, because as it stands, you can't rotate the belt piece above the waistline there. You can only rotate the diaphragm joint and below the belt. So that's kind of whatever. Not ideal for functionality, but it looks fine aesthetically. It's a little bit windswept too, so that's cool. It's a little bit of character to it. Not too much, though. But then his hips do kick out to the side, kick back down and kick forward, back a little bit. He's got a thigh cut. He's got a double-jointed knee, which on mine, these were super stiff. But you can see you get plenty of range out of that. I will say he's got really nice arms and legs. I would like to see a... is this chainmail or is it just a stripe pattern like Colossus? Maybe it's just a stripe pattern like Colossus, but I'd like to see some armored characters utilizing this. Crimson Dynamo? Doesn't he have arms and legs like this? That'd be kind of cool. They could even reuse the boots and the gloves, I think. If we got a new Crimson Dynamo with those parts. Yeah, I think he does. Looking back on it, the Crimson Dynamo from the Iron Man Toy Biz line that had the missile that shot out of his chest, he had like the kind of ribbed arms and legs, didn't he? That'd be kind of cool. They'd have to give him some knee pads, though. Maybe some different lower legs and some knee pads. And some bigger gauntlets. So he couldn't reuse all the arms and legs, but definitely some reuse potential here. I could totally see that. Hopefully in the next year or so. We need a classic Whiplash, too. Who the heck's that at? Getting back to High Evolutionary here. He's got a boot swivel. He's got a single hinge in the foot. Well, they all have. Why do I say single hinge in the foot sometimes? I don't get it. You can't have a double because it would look ugly and it wouldn't work. But you get plenty of range out of that. And it does have the rocker and the peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And he does stand quite okay. Quite okay. That's a very bland thing to say. He stands quite okay. Stands just fine. I don't have any problems with this guy falling over, really. But yeah, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite out of this wave. As far as new stuff goes, because there ain't a whole lot of new stuff, because, again, we're just getting the Fantastic Four again, but with some different accoutrements. I would like to see them do the thing with the trench coat and the hat and stuff, but they don't really do soft goods, and that's really the only way you could do that. So, with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up here is the High Evolutionary, next to a couple other Marvel supervillain characters, also utilizing pinless tech and brand new body molds. We have Ultron from the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave, and the Dread Dormammu from the Zemnu Build-A-Figure wave. Dormammu standing taller than everybody, which makes me happy because I always felt that figure was a little short. I say that every time I get him out, I know, but I would love to see like a 12-inch version of that. That'd be sweet, wouldn't it? I think it would. We got Surtur, dang it. Why can't that happen? But at any rate, as you can see, this guy is shorter than both of these guys. An old High Evolutionary. I think he's just supposed to be like average dude height, so this makes sense to me anyways, because Ultron is a killer robot and Dormammu is a interdimensional demon from another realm, so that makes perfect sense. But if we take old Dormammu out of here, here he is next to the only other figure I've taken a look at from this wave thus far. Got Psycho Man, Ecstasy. I said I was done with those jokes, but I had to get one more in. And as you can see, Psycho Man's a little bit taller, but he is in a spacesuit. And even though his legs don't move in all the way, which I forgot to mention in his review, that's due to his costume, not because of bad engineering or anything. Yeah, Psycho Man is a little bit taller than the High Evolutionary, but I still think I like High Evolutionary a little bit more just because of aesthetics. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the Elephant Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everybody. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and much like the Psycho Man figure I took a look at yesterday, even though I don't know a whole lot about this character in particular, heck, I don't even remember him from that Spider-Man Unlimited series, which I like a whole heck of a lot. Granted, I haven't seen as much of that as the regular Spider-Man animated series, but I digress. That aside, all that aside, that does not excuse the fact that this is a really awesome looking figure. I love him as far as his aesthetic goes, more so than Psycho Man. So, you know what? I think both him and Psycho Man have a really good chance of making it onto my top 10 Legends of the Year list because, again, while it's been kind of a rocky year for Legends, at least compared to last year, the ones that are good are really good. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I would highly recommend you pick this guy up. Or, you know, if you're a Fantastic Four fan, that's another good reason too, isn't it? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we've got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.